Let me double check this.
It's obviously Plan Z versus Back to the Bones. Clearly.
Awesome. So Plan Z or Plan Z, I believe they call themselves Plan Z, but I like to think of them as Plan Z because we're in a real country. They're a team that's been playing together for quite a while. They started in Open and they had like 3 or 4 seasons in Open, eventually I believe winning Open, and then being moved up to IM, and they're now sort of hovering around the top 3 teams in IM. They've improved quite a lot as they've been playing. I think they have some up-and-coming talent, but some people who've been playing for a little bit, like Mikau on Medic, I think has been playing for quite a bit. He's been, I think he's been their core Medic for basically the entire time that they've been playing. Etrican on Pocket, he's been playing a lot of Shotgun Pocket, which is interesting to see, but not 100% sure if he'll be running Shotgun on this map. Is the map that we're going to Freight?
I believe we're having. Yeah, I believe we're having issues with the STV at the moment. I'm trying
Maybe
to
it's
work
paused?
out. Oh no, they're changing maps.
Okay.
It seems like we might be going to Obscure, so we might be seeing the same map back to back. It'll be interesting to see how the intermediate teams handle it.
Yeah, if this is because this is a best of 3, does that mean each team has won one map now? I assume so.
Would have to be the case.
Yeah, let's just assume that. That's way more exciting.
That is how a best of 3 format works. Typically.
Yeah.
I'm no mathematician, but that seems to be the case.
Yeah. So Back to the Bones. Back to the Bones is the other team playing in the final. From my knowledge, they've also been a team that's been together for a little while. Coming up through Open, I believe eventually winning Open, although I'm not 100% sure on my Open lore. I think they did. They're playing IM this season, I believe. Yeah, so we've missed Freight. Oh no, we've missed Freight.
Aww.
Okay, so I believe that we're playing Obscure again for this 5th map. I actually need to see if I can figure out how to connect to this server. Can I hand over to one of you guys while I figure out how to connect to this server?
Yeah, you just retry it. It works now.
Yeah,
it didn't work before, and now it works. They were just changing the map, so you should be able to figure it out. So yeah, while you do that, I don't know what else I can talk about. I don't know these teams, but yeah, it should be pretty interesting to see how a different set of teams handle this map, because like just from watching the demo rollout, you could definitely tell that people weren't familiar with it. And whenever you have teams that are not familiar with a map, they just do whatever they feel is most obvious. So sometimes that means that people will just kind of do the same because they just default to kind of what they have been drilled into their head is the right way to play different maps that we play it right now. So they just try to like translate it into like terms that they're familiar with. So like, oh, we play Badlands mid this way, so let's just play this mid the same way and see how that works out, right? Because then you have a coherent plan at least. But sometimes it will also just be like people see something and then you just go, oh, I should try this. And you just get these completely different scenarios and game styles that there's just no way to predict. And oftentimes what happens with a metagame as it develops on a map is that it kind of just stifles any kind of creativity or just different ways of playing the map, because you kind of figure out the best way to play. And before that gets figured out, it's usually a lot more exciting to watch a map, at least for me, because nobody knows what the best way is. And then when you finally spot that perfect way to play a middle or push second or whatever, it just it's very cool to see it the first time, but then it just kind of settles into normality and things get less exciting in that regard.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's worth taking into consideration as well that because these are intermediate teams, they're obviously going to think about these sort of maps in a different way than Prem players would. Obviously, the more experience you have in the game, you kind of have these set rules or kind of like guidelines you work off of and kind of consider how to take fights. But obviously, as you move down the ranks, obviously, skill might be there, but kind of the fluidity of the decision making is probably not necessarily to the same extent. And in a map like this, I think it will lead to a lot more interesting scenarios than we saw for the Prem.
I agree. But that being said, both of these teams have been playing together for quite a while. Like, they've both come up through Open with 3 or 4 seasons, and now they're both sort of sitting somewhere near the top of IM. Like, these teams have been playing together for like 6, 7 seasons. Like there's the coordination could potentially be there. Like I feel that these games, because both of the Prem teams were formed kind of especially for it, like I feel that these teams are both teams that do play together in Inter and do sort of scrim and play together much more regularly than those guys do in the Prem game. So I think we could potentially see much more coordinated play, maybe not necessarily, the right decisions being made at each time, but I think this could be, a much closer game. Obviously, these teams have gone one map each leading into this, so it's obviously been close so far. So I'm kind of excited to see this. I mean, I know a few of the names here. Like I know Plan Z. I know that they've been playing quite a while, and I know of what were they called? Back to the Bones. Like I know they've been playing together for a while. So like I'm excited. I'm like optimistic that this is going to be a tight match, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Back to the Bones core have been together for like a really significant, or at least some semblance of Back to the Bones have been together for a really long period of time, like more so than Plan Z, from what I know. But yeah, I've playing intermediate last season and being kind of around that area. I obviously a lot of these players I'm quite familiar with, and it's definitely going to be interesting, especially because. Especially this mid fight, I think there's just so much kind of wide open space that it really kind of lends itself to any class going big. Obviously, Demo's got so many sight lines where it can spam. Soldiers, I mean, it's basically, I don't know how high the skybox is, but it seems like you could jump to high heavens and back in Scouts. You've got a billion flanking options, so I'm really curious, even more than kind of how last pushes play out. I think mid fights are going to be really fun to watch on this map. Should be a spectacle.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I will leave the map over to you guys, so take it away, Xander.
Sure. Actually, just before we do head live into this next mid, I do believe, is this Dreamboat? Are you alive, Dreamboat?
Hello. Hi.
We have someone else in to replace Obla leaving. I'm just going to probably have to go AFK for a second to let Obla out, but can you take us through this mid, Peter?
Yeah, sure. So we see a soldier trying to go behind. At least he's going to just position himself on the right fence immediately, and he's going to get jumped and actually do some pretty decent damage, but he has snuck his way behind. Both teams are just kind of apprehensively holding their own side, but oh my god, nice shot there from Instinct, taking down a soldier. We'll get cleaned up, and eventually it's just going to be the blue team, which I can't remember the name of right now, just taking it out. It's only going to be Marshall alive, and he's just running for his little life. Or is he? No, he's just like trying to make sticky traps. This is... Oh no, he's trying to go into spawn. This is not good. And yeah, people getting lost on this map seems to just be a staple of it. But yeah, very strong mid here for blue, or whatever name that was.
And maybe at some point we can have Xander make sure that Obla's PC disconnects from the server, so there's actually space for a wee boat to pop into the server beater. So in the meantime, as I don't have space, it's all you, my friend.
Oh, okay, alright. Well, we just see a setup here on last. There's a Pyro. They're just having high ground. There's a level 2 sentry all the way over on the left side. But there's a full Uber advance coming in here for blue, which I still can't remember the name of the team.
It's Back to the Bones. As we see a Scout getting really aggressive here, gets kind of shunted out of that choke by a soldier, but they kind of all group up on him, and that's a really nice early pick. It just gives them way more workways to work with. As the Scouts just come in, and he's surviving so much. The Sentry does take down the Soldier, it does take down the Scout. They eventually clean it up, but at the cost of their entire Uber and 3 players, so it's just a medic, a demo, and a Soldier alive, and a full Uber advantage on the sides of the team. They do losing a Soldier, trying to make a bit of space, and an Engineer with the Frontier Justice getting some crits out. I believe we saw that on LAN recently, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
it's nice to see that gun get a bit of use.
Yeah, and this sentry gun, it got 2 kills, so that's 4 revenge crits. He used 2 of them already. So, it's a very dangerous thing to get close to. You will just get each other down if he's good, the Engineer. But so far, he hasn't really been needed. Actually, Olaf's on last. He's just snuck his way in. There's a Scout fighting him, but it's very, very important that this Scout wins. But no!
Great work from the demo.
Yeah. comes back and saves the day. That was really clutch.
Yeah, but actually losing that demo there for like a significant portion of the fight, it's really kind of halted their push into second as they've lose the player really early. They do clean up a frag for themselves, and with this 2-player ad, they'll probably will be able to take this point for free, but they could have already probably been captured.
Rumble's in behind. He's found the medic. He's actually jumping on him, but no, people just jump in the way of him. Yeah. This poor soldier took so much damage, but he saved his medic.
Almost 30. Almost 30. But not quite meant to be. His plan's either going to be capping up mid here, getting ready to roll forward. Awesome. Like, I love this, by the way. Thank you guys for doing this. I'm so happy to see Obscure. God bless. You're my hero.
Have you actually played it before? Like,
I have
do you know this map?
Twice.
Oh, okay. All right. But it's we need all the continents in here. You know, we're desperately scrambling the internet to find some African casters, but you know, so far no luck. But you know, we're getting there. Maybe some South Americans. You know,
I believe Fire is the default caster for all South American TF2, if I'm not mistaken. At this point, he's been he's been doing a lot of work, basically casting like every league that he can. He's a dedicated young man. As we do get a bit of a pencil jump in, gets one rocket onto the medic. That's from Instinct. Not able to really do anything else. He kind of sold himself short way too early, and I guess made the most of it in the end. We do see the counter attack coming in. Absolutely nothing coming out of it. So we will sit here. The score is still 0-0, and the teams seem to be respecting each other a lot more than what we saw in that Prem Grand Final. And again, it probably is due to the fact that these are established teams rather than sort of mixed teams. But actually, we see him coming in again. The medic with a great serve survives on 10 HP and does not pop. That is absolutely fantastic work there from that medic. Balls of absolute steel there.
Yeah, whenever you're just falling towards the ground, you're very, very weak, and you're like, do I take fall damage? Do I pop it? Like, it's the most embarrassing way to drop in TF2 is dying to fall damage. There's just no other way.
Yeah, especially because of how inconsistent fall damage is in this game. I mean, that's it's risky, but I mean, when it comes off, you look like a genius.
Yeah, so
I have a random floating burning duck on my screen right now.
Yeah, I've got that too.
I love it when things bug out because this is an old game. But Montgomery Wigglesworth, what a name. I'm sorry, these names are all... I'm going to laugh at some of these. It's just, you know, who I am. Was picked up by a trap. Feels bad. No cap runs back in. He gets taken out too. But we got the Spee up. It's going to be Olaf. I believe he's just checking for... Oh no, he's walking out. He is committing to this plan. Goes for the knife, goes for the backstab on his own medic, just as a good luck stab. And he's now infiltrated the back lines here, weaseling his way in behind. What can Olaf find?
Well, he's definitely in a pretty decent position, but currently everyone else is just so far forward. Like, he's actually almost gotten too far behind lines, but you know, he can just uncloak here and then maybe make his way forward. And he got spotted while walking over the point. So this soldier, okay, he's just gonna like stab him in the front. But meanwhile, the medic has actually been forced to Tokahantas. He popped at I think to try and save some teammates, but he might have dropped them as well. So Greek will go down though. Yeah, he was so weak and he gets taken down. So it's now a 3-on-2. The medic gets taken down.
That was amazing work. Eventually gets cleaned up in the back line, but that was really making the best of a pretty poor situation. I mean, Instinct finally managed to get one of his bombs working with a Etricon. I mean, they kind of ended up sacking the whole team for it, but yeah, really good scout cleanup at the end. He just kind of wiggled behind enemy lines and was able to clean up that frag. So it actually will be about a 20, 25, even maybe 30% advantage by the time that Tokahantas ends up patching up with his team. So they should be able to block mid here, but they didn't want to commit to it. Bit of a missed opportunity there because they had the heal and Matt. What's this medic doing? Is he even getting to his team? Because it is now a 50% advantage. That's a pretty poor play from Back to the Bones there, if I'm being honest. They've really shot themselves in the foot.
Nobody went back for Tokahantas. That, like, That is such a rudimentary TF2. That is something that you need to do at every level. That's something that's ground into you at such a low level that you need to have someone go back and pick up your medic. They didn't do it, and yeah, that is a very heavily dwindled ad. The big thing is I don't think... oh, there's actually the Force that came out there in the back lines. So that's a big job getting the Force out. 2 players have fallen here. There is going to be Instinct jumping on this point. And he's got a one-on-one on Tokahanis. He's right there on top of him. Not going to find that kill, though. Tokahanis surfing out and will survive. But that was I missed how the Force came in on the back lines, but that's huge.
Well, it wasn't a Force that just kind of Uber through. There was a soldier that shot them, but basically they walked through, and then the medic dropped 2 players in the main Uber. So Greek really dropping the ball there. And then everyone else just kind of got caught in. They got body blocked in, and then they just all got chewed up. So it was a really disastrous Uber all around, and it's going to be completely turned around.
I believe Greek is actually not usually on their team. I think he's a merc for tonight.
Alright, so that could explain why maybe he doesn't have the best coordination with the team, but now you have the Uber coming in here, and Greek, he's doing a pretty good job of just dodging all this spam. And, he will eventually go down, but he did buy a lot of time for his team. You see Heatbringer bringing the heat here. He's behind these crates. Eventually he will go down, and Marshall will also get some kills here to just clean it up. So that was a great hold here by our blue team. I already forgot again. I know you told me.
Back to the bone.
Back to the bone.
Really impressed by Instinct there on that last hold. He kind of stood from that high ground that leading out of spawn and just got a few good rockets off and dropped down kind of when the fight dictated it. And because of that, he was just raining off so much damage with no one from Back to the Bones really doing anything to him. And while he didn't end up cleaning up a lot of frags himself, it was kind of just his positioning and the fact that he was just spamming out the players from Back to the Bones that I think was the main catalyst to them overall winning that fight. And it was just really smart play from him. You know, he didn't overcommit. He realized that he just kind of needed to do his bit, as Olaf's actually in a really nice hiding spot here. Oh, is that yeah, Stigma's standing basically on top of his head, and if he walked forward an extra inch, Olaf could get himself a nice cheeky frag there, but seems that we will continue this stalemate here. I'm really hoping we see an off-class, but it seems like I think we're in a stage where both teams actually really desperately want to win, so no one's going to go for those risky plays.
Is there a prize on the line in this tournament?
There is not.
Don't believe there's a prize. There's not even any badges either. It's just going to be bragging rights, unfortunately.
Olaf springs the trap. He sees a scout, but the scout just kind of runs around. And actually, Olaf ended up getting baited there instead. Stigma was kind of unintentionally baiting Olaf into dying there. This could be an opening. As I mentioned earlier, it is a pretty wide map. It's very easy to run a soldier through the flank.
The soldier is actually behind on the medic. Does get the force on Tokahanis. That was really, really well played from, I believe that was Instinct jumping in behind. He does lose his life for it, and the Uber is what? Forced? Question mark? I don't know why they used just then. They used so early. And Greek actually does look like he might lose his life in this fight. Marshall actually dying. Greek is super low in the backlines, trying to keep his scouts alive. His scouts actually ball around him really, really well there. Scout comes in, cleans up one. Greek goes down.
Oh, that's fantastic scout work. That's just DM going huge right there.
Yeah,
I'm not even sure the first kill was one that he was intending to go for. Just the scout was so low that he just kind of peeked in, did enough damage to find that kill for free. He's really going for the medic, managed to pick off both of them, and just great play from Olaf. And that's going to give his team a small window. They have a very small ad. That might allow them to come back in here before heals come up. Well, they don't choose to go for it, though. They're playing a little bit more safe. Shouldn't really be a surprise with how safe they played so far.
Yeah, we see some scouts actually peeking in here into, I don't know, the sniper nest area, defensive area, but they will eventually retreat. And now we get like the first time to see what is their standard defensive lineup. And currently, they actually have no one watching their own left side here on blue, right? So a red player could just walk through there and go behind. So that again shows a little bit that I don't think they're actually aware that is just completely unwatched. Normally you have like a soldier watching that, and you have a soldier on the crate watching kind of both areas, like and then you have the demo man on the right side, and some scouts watching right side as well.
Uber's coming really early from the demo here of Back to the Bones. He kind of goes skybox, does nothing, eventually gets a nice vibe onto Montgomery Wigglesworth, then gets a sticky onto Instinct. He's doing massive work that allows his soldiers to come in and start cleaning up some frags. Greek drops down to the low ground for no apparent reason, gets cleaned up by the scout.
Oh, nice shot from Heatbringer.
That
will save it.
That was fantastic demo work from Crybaby. He basically... The start of the Uber looked atrocious, but he just made the absolute most of it at the end. And here we go, mids cap. Looks like we're going to get second. Oh no, Scout has underestimated the power of forward spawns. He is being rounded up by 4 players who eventually he survives for an absurdly long period of time there. Frankly, he did not deserve to live there. And we've got about a 40% ad on the side of Back to the Bones, but we've seen how tentative these teams are, so I won't be surprised if they kind of let this mellow out. As I say that though, it does look like they're actually going position and looking to move in from this lower area, leading with their demo.
Yeah, this is a very normal way to get in, and you can see they've made their way all the way back behind here. Took a hunt. Oh, he actually pops there for no real reason. I think he got spooked by a soldier, but really gets taken down by Crybaby. Crybaby just jumps in super aggressively, takes him down, and they're actually getting so many kills right now. Back to the bone, or Back to the Bone, I can't even remember again. Back to the Bone, okay, that's stupid. And this demo man is so weak, and he's just on 31 HP. He's somehow, okay, there we go, finally dies.
That was a really interesting fight. I mean, with OZF dying so early, I assumed that kind of Back to the Bones had thrown that entire fight away, but Plan Z just did something really weird with their positioning. I wasn't quite following it, and they had it completely in their control to dictate that fight and to win it, but maybe it was just a lack of proper comms, maybe it was just kind of players thinking they could go for a few hero players and do it on their own, but they've got themselves in a pretty bad position. I mean, it's only about 20% Uberdisad on last. They do have a heavy and a pyro, so even if there is a dot push, they should be able to kite this quite well, but the fact that they're even in this position at all is a bit questionable.
Yeah, this Uber does come up on the side of blue team. They look like they're trying to finally make a move. Actually, Olaf dying as these that means these Ubers will even out in the end. That's not what you want to see. The Uber is actually committed.
So much work. This is like textbook perfect positioning from this Pyro. The heavy and instinct are getting a ton of frags, but the Pyro just stood like he just 200 IQ'd where this other team was pushing in from. Right-clicked about 4 times, and the heavy cleaned up the rest. That was really well coordinated from Plan Z.
Yeah, I'm not sure why Greek popped in the end there. He didn't look like he or his team were in any sort of super danger there. His team could have, I think, made that same play without him Ubering. But yeah, I mean, we've seen... I went out to let Obro out of our high-tech bunker, but I come back and we're still on the first round. Yeah, it was still on the first round. Doesn't look like anything's really happened here. Just a lot of back and forth play.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Oh my god, Etrican gets in, and somehow, yet again, for about the 4th time in a row, Olaf is the first to die in this fight. They pick up a couple of frags, but then Crybaby goes down as the demo. The health on Plan Z is absolutely awful. Greek, once again, gets caught on low ground, gets taken out, so it's just a med and a soldier alive, both on awful health. One nice rocket as he was dying from Rumble. Tokahontas gets that with his life, but Greek, I know we've pointed out that Greek is not part of the core, or so we believe, but his positioning in some of these fights has really been questionable.
Yeah, I believe Mikau is normally the medic for this team, and they've got Greek in just for the cup, because I assume Mikau can't make it for some reason. But yeah, he is not sort of playing with the team as much as they would like, I feel.
We do have the push coming back forward here. No Cap and Crybaby are going to find the opening couple picks. Oh, there was almost a hero pipe. I thought that was going to be miraculous, but it doesn't matter. Marshall still cleaned up as another nice push coming through from Back to the Bones. If the back cap attempt coming through, Instinct's back there. I don't think he's going to have any chance. Oh, so he's got to try and move forward, and we'll see if they manage to clean him up. He might have someone line in here Beater, he might have some play in his book, but he should be cleaned up.
He's been spotted by these scouts here, so yeah, eventually just gets taken out, or just like plus forwards into him with a full buff. Takes him down very safely. And currently there's no real stickies on any of these entrances, so it should just be a free entrance for Back to the Bones, like if they really want to.
They do have this Uber up now, though. I mean,
yeah. I like them not running into the Uber. They're going to send in a single soldier, though. That is kind of the standard spot to go in. But
again, force happens.
No, he just pops it in there to make sure that he doesn't drop the stickies. And there were actually stickies, so I will defend Greek on that one. And I guess it was just his team that didn't clear stickies well enough. But they force everyone out, and they've actually taken down both scouts. But it looks like Back to the Bone, they want to come back in here.
Hatebringer bringing the hate, hitting some really nice rockets as his team recommits for that fight. That was really nice from him. I'm not quite sure what his real name is, but he's bringing the hate with the Yowie profile picture. Not Yowie in that way, but Yowie in the Australian candy way.
Praise be to Yowies.
I'm so confused
I've never
right
heard
now.
of that.
Oh, the back... What? This scout is on last point, and he's getting completely mulched. He... Question mark play from whoever that is. FR no cap. I'm not sure what their real name is, but they were crouching behind the point. No one saw them, and they gave up their positioning before their team was ready to make anything happen, which was a little unfortunate. Their spawn is up now, and these Ubers have evened out. Again, still on this first round, Beater.
Yeah, it's should be pretty interesting to see how they play this stalemate, right? Because this is kind of what the map was notorious for, that you could get stuck on these spots for a really long time. Like, we had like 20-minute stalemates basically on this. Well, I think it's one of the few times I've ever seen like a round restart. That was definitely on this map that it happened. So should be interesting to see how they break this. I'm sure they'll actually try to do stuff, though. It's not like boring Prem Euros.
You could say that a lot of the routes into this last point can be easily obscured.
The Dreamboat. There's already been one obscure joke being made. We
I
can't
wasn't here for it, so that doesn't count, and I'm better.
Wow, okay.
Actually, I'm not better because... Hold on. I don't think I am better because, like, I think Beater just won Caster of the Season, and I think Xander's won Caster of the Season. I never won one, so I'm just a lowly pleb, I guess.
That's because North America decides awards aren't important, and your entire community should feel ashamed for themselves. As we do see Rumble in with a nice bomb. Well, I say nice. It was nice in theory if he got damage off, which he failed to.
I mean, most of my casting career was Australia, fozzlm. That just means that the Aussies don't love me.
Oh no, they do.
Yikes.
Oof. But yeah, we do see it again.
That was great.
And there we go. That's passed over, folks. Thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you for season 23.
Etricon
do I get to cast this one?
Season, yeah.
I'm sorry, folks. It's been a long night, and stalemates are boring.
I've had a lot of beer tonight, so my cast is not up to standard. I'm sorry.
I just casted Overwatch, and I wanted to die because it was not a good game.
Well, that's
Contenders
Overwatch in
League.
a nutshell, am I right? Hey, low-hanging fruit. Welcome to TF Live.
Anyways, if you're just tuning in, I am 503 Dreamboat of the Portland Burnsiders. I've got fozzlm, Xander, and Beater here, and this is apparently an old map cup.
Oh, the Uber is actually committed in. Nice rockets. Greek dropping. Nice rockets on the side of both Heatbringer and the other soldier there, Rumble, I believe his name is. And that is the first round after nearly 25 minutes. The first cap going the side.
And Pocahontas has got an achievement. He is now a specialist. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what you get. I don't know. Oh, I think it's like
get on it.
Healing.
It's the
I think it's healing like 100,000 health in one life without dying. Or something like that, which is testament to that stalemate.
It is the 10k heal points in a single life.
Oh no, Pocahontas just missed an arrow on Heatbringer while he was standing still. It's the most embarrassing thing, so I thought I'd mention it. And anyway, he's just gonna...
The momentum's completely shifted after finally capping off that round. Plan Z has out for blood. They're not letting their chocolate counterparts, their Yowie men, win another round.
Died on
and
this
you guys will... I really hope more people in chat understand what me and Xander are going about with Yowies, because they are great, and they were recently brought back. Man,
I bought some. I bought some. Yeah, they were like $4, and that was so disappointing.
I had all the Zowie books, and they were great. And
I had the Yowie magazines, man.
Yeah. Can you explain to the
do you know, like,
Canadian here what a Yowie is?
Do you know Kinder Surprises?
Yes.
They're like Kinder Surprises, except they have like toys based on like it was native Australian animals, but now they have like everything in them. They had like a series with like extinct animals, and they had a series with like North American animals. That is what they've come back with now. They used to be like little buildable toys like you get in Kinder Surprises. Now they're all just like one-shot plastic mold toys, which is a little bit more disappointing. But I don't know. They're made by Cadbury, I believe. As we do see something more important happening as this Uber is traded on second. Both teams actually taking a lot of ground. Greek actually really low as they're kind of forced behind their own team. Lots of frags going the way of Back to the Bones. Actually, no one losing their life in that push. Loads of low health, but no one dying. That was a really, really clean Uber exchange on the side of... Olaf
was so close to trying to bat his way up to get the medkit, and he would have died doing it, so... I'm sad he didn't go for it. But we see a bit of a setup here coming out from Zed. They're trying to just stick everything up.
That scout, sorry, I believe his real name is Time, after me saying that I don't know him. I should know that guy. I've played with him for a little while before.
Oh no.
But yes, that is Time. Olaf actually losing his life as well. Crybaby dying as well from Etrican and Instinct, both teaming up for these clean frags, and they're pushing in through lower, just trying to sort of dry push this point before the Uber is up, and the frags are going their way. Another one down. Greek loses his life.
Oh, tank drop. That was so... Again, it's just Greek. He's playing well for most of the maps, but it's just at the end of fights, his positioning has just been, frankly, bad, to put it simply.
I feel like he's popping too early, too. Yeah. Like... It's just the uncomfort level clearly showing. His post-fight positioning is not good, and he's popping too early because he doesn't really know where to expect. Like, it's a double-edged sword, right? Because you don't know the map, you pop a little bit earlier than you might, and unfortunately that's leading to some bad Ubers. As Olaf is just in.
This Uber, again, as you say, speaking of early Uber pops, that Uber is popped through the door. No one is looking at that, and there were no stickies, but they do basically wipe this team, except for one back cap, but this time's 9 on the point. Do they get it? Do they get it here? Oh, that was really close, actually, yeah. Stigma nearly making the play for his team, unfortunately just not quite in time, as he's now stuck behind, doing the same thing on mid. He's not committing to that one, as he knows that this point will cap just that little bit faster. He's going to run in, see what he can do. I think he's going to die here. Surely he dies. Yes, he does die. We head into an Uber ad situation as they're trying to head in towards this last point. I guess they're just going to wait outside here and grind this Uber Dreamboat.
Yeah, they're gonna try and build her up before they try to walk in and break her down. And I mean, I will say I absolutely love this last point, just because the catwalk is so weird and great at the same time. Like, it's just this random plank in the middle of it, so you basically have like a firing squad lineup right now from Plan Z trying to hold it. This entire team just up on the catwalk being like, yeah, okay, we'll just spam you out when you come in. I love it. It's great. Bring back the scare.
They've actually gone in through this right side. They did this the last time around as well, and that's where they ended up dropping Greek, and that's why they won it, but they're going for it again. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, really low health. Just Marshall up on 10 HP. Does get cleaned up in the very end, and that is another round with just 4 minutes left on the clock. Is this doable, Peter?
Yeah, this is very doable. Like, in theory, at least. Yeah, absolutely. You need like a little more than a minute for a round, and you have about 4 minutes, so yeah, that's doable. So this is not over yet. You definitely go for this mid-fight, just try to win it out really securely, just roll them all the way to last, and then you will have like 2 minutes to win the last round. So.
And here we go, we see Marshall getting here a bit before his counterparts get some good stickies on Crybaby, who does pick up an arrow from his medic. So will be survived. Montgomery Wigglesworth is the first casualty of this mid, but Plan Z look like they're still going really quite fast. Instinct gets a nice rocket left to time and just couldn't connect his shots. Greek goes down to Olaf with a terrific flank from the backside, but Plan Z, no. Marshall going down there lost them so much positioning, but despite their atrocious health, they're going in and they're winning this fight. Pocahontas survived with his life and about 80% Uber, but no,
they're coming back in to refight this. Yeah, they're refighting. Both players are so low. Nice arrow coming in from Toka to kill that medic there. The scout's trying to do what he can, actually. Oh my god!
Oh, Montgomery Wigglesworth!
Montgomery Wigglesworth. Best name, best plays. I mean...
Best shot.
Amazing. Yeah, so that is now the ad on the side of Greek Hunter, I believe, is his full name. As they have now 30-40% ad working towards this middle point.
Yeah, that was amazing. I mean, he died so early in the initial mid-fight that it was one of those rare cases where the elongated mid-fight ended up being like the perfect ploy for him to sneak back in. Wiggle his way back in, if you will excuse the awful pun. Edrican gets the skybox and just gets shut down. But that doesn't matter, his scouts have come in. Sigma gets 2 frags back-to-back, gets taken out. But it's created so much space for his scouts. The soldiers of Back to the Bones have jumped in. The Greek Hunter's on a lot of HP. Marshall gets off some amazing damage, but it's not enough. Tank Drop and Adam are just doing a ton of work. Tank Drop gets cleaned up. It's just Adam here. Instinct comes in late with the fight, gets him. So Pocahontas does survive though, and it's kind of been a running theme where the moment he seems his team even kind of losing, he just bails, and more often than not, it's really been working out for them.
There was some pretty good shots going on there, and I guess Heatbringer is Adam.
Yeah, I think nice they've changed to some real names now, which is nice to see.
Unfortunate, as I would say.
Well, I mean, Montgomery Wigglesworth is obviously his real name, which is phenomenal.
Gentleman Scholar TF2 player. Yep. As Greek is super weak again. He could get taken down if they're not careful. Crybaby's going to do a ton of damage. He's going to jump in very aggressively. He takes down the
Greek.
Oh my
god. Crybaby's doing a lot of work. I think Hipster is his other name, but I think Crybaby is his official name. But this Scout Stigma in just on 50 health, jumping around, seeing if he can distract a little bit more, as Instinct just trying to jump around on mid to see if he can distract people as well.
The Greek Hunter's dropping to GG, and that is right. There is only 40 seconds left on the clock after a really tense and drawn-out stalemate. Back to the Bones, or the Yowies, as they're known in-game, and by profile picture, and in our hearts, have managed to take this with a 2-1 win, and it...
2-0?
Like maybe? 2-0 win, sorry, I cannot read. And they might be able to cap out mid to end the round, but it does look like this has just turned into a DM fest as Stigma gets a lovely headshot. Time gets the good old Boston Basher. These guys are just having a bit of fun here, which is always great to see in garbage time.
I'd just like to point out that Montgomery Wigglesworth is not his full name. His full name is Montgomery Wigglesworth Esquire, and you need to add the Esquire. That's the important part. You know, just like I wouldn't be Dreamboat without the boat part. You got to add the Esquire part. It's the important part. It's where the meat and potatoes of his name is. So shout out to Montgomery Wigglesworth Esquire.
Phenomenal.
I'd like to apologize for offending him. My bad. I didn't realize at the time, but I realize I was wrong now, and I hope you can forgive me. I'm sorry.
We will be deleting this cast from the internet, so no one will have to relive
is devastating. That is devastating. I showed up for absolutely nothing then. I only come here for fame and glory. You know that.
Shouldn't have come to Australian TF2.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oh no.
Should have gone back to Overwatch.
Oh, I feel sad now.
Yeah, you've made yourself sad. I'm sad too now.
You want to know what else is sad? How many games we casted last season?
Yeah, let's not. You know what? I'd like to thank a few people tonight. I'd like to thank Xander for casting, Beta for casting, Dreamboat for casting, Wiethoofd for producing, Obla for being a lightweight and being drunk after like one standard drink because he cannot handle any amount of alcohol. He is an adorable young child that clearly needs to actually celebrate Father's Day tomorrow rather than just leaving a family dinner.
Yeah, he left a family dinner to come and cast tonight. That's dedication from your admins.
Former admin. Did he retire or something?
He's still admin.
He's no longer head admin.
Oh, okay. So he's the headless admin.
He is the headless admin.
Yeah, I feel that's correct. I can't disagree with that.
I like it.
Are we gonna look at some logs, or are we just gonna? Because I guess we can just kind of talk about who we were impressed by. Because I was very impressed by Adam and Crybaby.
So Hatebringer or Adam, looking at these logs that I have in front of me now, Hatebringer or Adam went 30 for 12, top fragging and top damaging in the server. He did a lot of work for his team. Very, very closely followed by Crybaby going 19 to 8 with another very, very similar damage number. So it's really off the back of those two core classes, just bringing so much depth to that game. But I think really, for me, the deciding factor is on Medic. Obviously, maining Medic, I'm a little bit biased, but Pocahontas died 3 times compared to Greek dying 18 times.
Greek was absolutely my MVP. Rough. You know, he was integral to the outcome of this match. Really, without his performance, this would be a very different game. And for that reason, he's my MVP. He was the impact player.
I feel, because I know he's a Merc med. If they had Mikau, who is the med that they've played with for quite a few seasons, I think the result would be completely different, and we could be looking at a 2-0 the other way. To be honest, it was really Greek's performance on Medic that really, really let them down. Because you see Instinct having a really good game on Roma, which is always nice to see. I mean, the other gamers weren't necessarily doing as well, like a lot of other people going negative on their team. But I feel that Medic, I think he main calls for them. To be honest, I have no idea, but I would assume he would. I feel that would have made such a big difference. Just comparing 3 to 18, that is 6 times more deaths. In my general maths knowledge.
I have pulled out my Casio scientific calculator, and I can confirm that 8's not even the number we're looking at here. 6 times by 3 is 18. So
I'm glad that I was correct.
We're learning many things today. We're learning that a heavy is actually a mobile sentry gun.
Did you just say that 6 divided by 3 is 18?
No, 6 times 3 is 18.
6 times by 3.
I heard 6 divided by 3,
and
I was
think we have
to
not delete this cast so that we can go back and check it now.
There you go.
Probably following the American education system, that's probably true.
Excuse me?
He's Canadian.
He's from the land of maple syrup and mooses. So,
Isn't the plural moose meese?
I'm sorry.
You know what, Beater? You know what, Beater? TurboTabs deserved caster of the season.
Wow. Okay, and with that, I think we're going to wrap up for the evening. Thank you.
No, you can't give him the last word. This is bullshit.
Okay, no. Okay. This is debate town now. Beater, what's your rebuttal?
Scoreboard, baby. Scoreboard.
Oof.
Yikes. Okay, there we go. TurboTabs has now been drawn into this fight, so
I miss you, Turbo.
We all miss Turbo. This has been a sad few days for TF2. I hope he comes back. It is not the same with TurboTabs, or without TurboTabs. If it was the same with TurboTabs, then that you know what? Words are hard. Xander, do you wanna wrap things up?
Am I allowed to give a shout out? Can I give a shout out before we go?
We'll go down our list and have shout outs from everyone before we wrap things up for tonight. Let's just go down the list in Mumble really quick. Peter, what are your shout outs for tonight?
I want to shout out TurboTabs. I already miss you. You've been gone for a day, and it's already bad. But anyway, I hope we can survive. And shout out to all you guys. It was super fun to cast this cup. It was really nice to get just this rush of all nostalgia to see this map that I actually won some games on and actually practiced back in the day. It's fun to see those again. So thanks for having me.
Thank you, Peter. It was a pleasure having you. Let's move down the list to Dreamboat. What are your shout-outs, my dude?
I'd like to shout out Old Man Beater for pulling out his walker, rolling up to the microphone, and talking about how he actually used to play Obscure. It's cool that we actually have someone still in the community that actually played that map. So, big shout out to you. Shout out to you guys for obviously putting on the cup. I'm so happy just to see some of these maps back. That means a lot to me. And I gotta give my shout outs to Zabumafu, Syntax, Lacrum, Serbi, and Reno. That's my team. That's right. Dreamboat is making a comeback. I'm playing ESEA Open again as a member of the Portland Burnsiders, baby. Yow!
Yeah, indeed. We look forward to seeing you play next season. Let's move on to Foz. What are your shout-outs, Foz?
Thanks, Xander. First, I'd like to shout out my fellow admins, ozfortress, for helping throw this cup together. Catfish has done an amazing job since taking over as head admin. It'll be fun working through the following few seasons with him. So just a shout out, information regarding season 23 will be posted soon, so keep an eye out on Twitter, Warzone, wherever you so choose to do so. For everyone at TF Live, I know we've been kind of our casting has been inconsistent to say the least, but thanks to everyone for watching and tuning in, and thanks to our casters and producers for sticking with us. It's been fun. And finally, shout out to Cadbury for making Yowies, and then I'd like to unshout out Cadbury for taking Yowies off the market, and then kind of give them a shout out for bringing them back, because Yowies are awesome. And you know what? Sometimes we just need chocolate in the shape of a creature that doesn't exist.
While I have people here, man. Quick question: does anyone remember the title of that YouTube video where Buick dropped twice to the train on freight?
Oh my god! Land? I fucking dropped to the train on well in the game before, dude.
We were discussing that as admins. We had a running commentary about that. Welcome. You are now forever in our Hall of Fame.
Dude, everyone, it was like a 4K that the train got. It was fucking nuts.
Look, we're gonna ban trains next season.
I found it. It's called Hello Buick.
Okay,
this is
fine, but I believe we're down to Xander to doing your shout-outs, my man.
Yeah, sure thing. I'd like to shout out all you guys for coming. I know it's a little bit of a looser cast in these off-season casts, but you guys, thank you so much for coming out tonight, particularly Beta and Dreamboat, our foreign visitors for tonight. Thank you so much for coming in and casting this game. It means such a lot to Australian TF2 having talent like you guys come in, and especially to Wiethoofd coming in. He's our core producer for TF Live. He does so much fantastic work. Thank you so much, Wiethoofd, for streaming this game. Thank you to my other fellow casters in Foz and the wonderful Hobler, who is, I believe, on a train. I hope he's watching this on his phone. Otherwise, I don't know what he's doing with his train trip. But yeah, thank you so much for watching as well, guys. It was a really, really fun game, going from Prem and then to the interfinal, which was a super, super close game and really, really great to watch. Do you have any last words to say, anyone, before we wrap this up for tonight?
Yeah.
Indeed. All right. Thank you. TF Live will be back for season 23 ozfortress premiere coverage. Hopefully it'll be a great season and we'll have some great talent and great casters coming in again for you guys. But that's all for tonight. Thanks for watching our Revival Cup. Hopefully it struck some nostalgia in you and reminded you why we don't play these maps anymore. But thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.